The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed on the Canna Connect show belong solely to the individuals and do not reflect those of Canna Connect and its affiliates, sponsors, or partners. Canna Connect does not promote or facilitate any activity that violates state or federal regulations. Everything you hear here is strictly for educational and entertainment purposes. It is not legal advice, it is not financial guidance, and it's definitely not medical direction. Seriously, don't take our word for it. Even if someone on the mic sounds like they know what they're talking about, and they're probably crazy smart too. Regardless of how legit our guests may be, you should always do your own homework, consult with your attorney, and understand the risk you're taking before you do anything when it comes to cannabis. Our intention is to keep it real. If you've got a problem with anything we've said, take us to court.
Welcome back to the Canna Connect show, live from Lucky Leaf. Day 2, here we are. We're kicking things off with our friends at CEE. I have Tony Beeman on my left, Brad Obermueller on his left. The Center for Energy and Environment, a nonprofit focused on getting micro businesses lighting rebates with LED, helping push the innovation within the industry on the micro cultivation side. We're talking about the Minnesota cannabis industry. This is the Canna Connect show, and we are here for the Minnesota cannabis industry. Tony, how was day 1 of Lucky Leaf?
It was good. I think you probably had about 10 folks stop by that were in our territory and were micros.
Yeah.
So we exchanged contact information, kind of walked through kind of the process and kind of timelines and everything like that. So far, so good.
So far, so good. And when you talk about your territory, you're talking about Xcel Energy territory. Center for Energy and Environment fits within the Xcel Energy umbrella. And your program that you guys oversee is focused on micro businesses.
Xcel Energy micro businesses. So a total canopy, including flower and veg, 8,000 square feet or below.
Yeah.
Within Xcel territory, you're good. Has to be an existing building. Again, we don't do new construction. We don't do greenhouses.
Okay.
All that goes to Xcel. There's still rebates for sure. So
Okay.
always going to be rebates in Xcel.
Yeah.
It just may or may not be housed within Center for Energy or Xcel.
And I'm hearing from, GrowPro Solution that the Center for Energy and Environment has the best rebates.
Yeah.
About
35% higher than standard.
Okay.
Yep.
That's got to feel good when you're talking to micro businesses that you guys have not the green standard, but you guys are more plugged in than anyone else when it comes to rebates.
Yeah,
in Minnesota.
In Minnesota.
Yeah.
But it's been 3 years working with groups like you, working with manufacturers. This might be half the size as last year as far as space used, but it's a better conference, a better show, a better day 1 on a Friday.
Yeah.
Because everybody's serious since walking through.
Yeah.
You could see the connections that are built with the manufacturers, with the rebate facilitators, with the cultivators that have licenses. It's not people saying, I'm thinking about doing this. Everybody here has got a plan, and it's cool to see how connected everybody is in Minnesota now. It took a while, but it's rolling.
It's interesting, really, that the vendors are more connected.
Yeah.
I mean, the community's more connected, but there's more vendors here, and there's less folks walking the floor. And that's interesting because the folks that were here last year are already kind of on their way.
Yeah.
We're recording this to get out to the entire market in Minnesota, and hopefully folks see this even if they weren't able to make it to Lucky Leaf. And that's okay. Not everybody's in the Twin Cities. We understand that. However, if folks are looking for more information, you've got something new on your website as far as the real estate QR code goes. So tell me a little bit about that page and what can micro businesses find on there?
Yeah, because, Brad and I were just talking about it yesterday. The worst conversations we have are customers that are really excited. They're looking for real estate. Then they reach out to us in a month or two. They give us an address. You look it up in the map, and unfortunately, they're half a mile from Xcel territory.
Oh.
And they find out there's no rebates. We're issuing 6-figure rebates on every micro.
Yeah.
The most lucrative one is $335,000. So,
wow.
If you go to our website, there's a link to all available commercial Xcel Energy real estate for lease or purchase.
Yeah.
Not 100% of the time, but the majority of the time, it'll also show the amount of amperage coming into the building, like 480 volt 3-phase, so you don't have to do a service upgrade, which could delay you by 6 months.
Right.
If you're at the show, we got a bunch of pamphlets with the QR code. Come grab one. Find yourself somewhere in Xcel.
And what are some of the delays and downsides that you're seeing inevitably happening right now in the Minnesota cannabis industry?
Upgrades is the biggie.
Service upgrades. So,
Building real estate with ample service is same thing with last year. Same thing. We've only got about 20 projects in the hopper. People are just scrambling to try to find right size real estate.
And we've had Mackenzie Damerow from Hoyt Properties on the show since the last time I've sat down with you guys. She's a real estate agent. She's not just focused on cannabis, but man, has she she's been through the ringer when it comes to showing folks properties, real estate. There's so many hoops that these guys are having to jump through to find the right building.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate reality that comes with this industry and some of the limitations that the realities of that we're facing. So I hate to be a downer, but we're here to tell the whole story, not just the good stuff. So with the limited options that folks have, what are your goals in 2026 as it relates to where we're at in the Minnesota cannabis industry?
Well, just practically speaking, our forecasted goal, because we live in the world of energy savers. We don't look at revenue and all. None of that. It's all about energy savings for us.
Right.
We earmarked about 13 million kilowatt hours for grow this year, conservatively. The average project is about 1 million kilowatt hours, to put that in perspective.
Okay.
So if all of a sudden we get an influx, we could go well beyond that.
Yes.
And we're at about 12.5 million kilowatt hours signed up and ready to go. So we're close to hitting goal in February, basically.
Okay.
So even though it's a slow roll, they're really big energy savers,
Yeah.
So you don't need 1 million of them to add up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one of the things we're running an ad on the show right now is like we talk about just how it's a no-brainer to reach out to CEE. And this isn't your first time on the show, but like talk about, when folks do reach out, what are those conversations like?
What's my experience?
Yeah.
That is, it's turning into what we want is we're helping these customers get to the finish line, right? So you mentioned earlier that we have the connection with vendors and everybody kind of knows their slot and their spot with each other. So now when these customers are calling, they're not only calling that they have a space at HVAC's in there, but they're asking us, what the rules are. How do we get the rebate? How soon can we get it? They're looking to us more as like, hey, is this for real? What's the catch kind of thing? Once they get past that, it's, hey, can you come take pictures before and after? This is amazing. We dreamed of this 2 years ago. We've been working on this for 12 months. Sorry for dragging you along for a long time. But you know what? You made us feel comfortable, and now we can do this. We're going to start small. We're going to take this bigger and be successful.
Yeah.
I don't think we can compare to other states.
Right.
How this one's rolling out. But in 2026, I think my goal to, piggyback off Tony a little bit is just, now the customers are a little further along. Maybe they know they have the financial backing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take long for us to turn around what they need from us.
Okay.
So we can get the rebate quickly, and we can help them kind of push the needle over and actually make the project happen.
Yeah.
I'm excited to close some jobs, help some people, and do it for free. I mean, that's an awesome thing.
Yeah.
So
now when folks are working with different lighting providers, do the rebates get facilitated differently? And what I mean is in the manufacturers, not the not the rebate facilitators, but is the process a little different depending on which LED lighting company you go with, or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The process is identical. The analysis is different.
Okay.
So what we need informationally is all the same. The main variability is wattage, dimming schedule, efficiency, and cost. Okay. And so I'd say 9 out of 10 of the projects are within 20% of each other. The market's pretty straightforward, unless it's a really high-end Cadillac fixture with spectral tuning and all the Cadillac features that I have. But I don't think we've had a project with a payback greater than a year compared to HPS. I think we're averaging about a half a year payback. So it's just like, don't put HPS in. Just don't do it.
That's right.
the better the efficacy, the higher the rebate.
Easy enough, guys. I'm looking forward to catching up with you guys again in March and April, and just we're going to continue to monitor. We're going to continue to promote the Center for Energy and Environment. It's a no-brainer if you're a micro business. And we really encourage you to look at Xcel Energy or Hennepin County and the Xcel Energy territory as an option, because you're going to get the best rebate, and that's going to make a huge difference in your micro business. So if you have any questions, reach out to Brad, reach out to Tony, visit them online. It's the Center for Energy and Environment, and we'll be right back.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Good to see you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Matt.